Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about why peace feels so foreign now. I think that most of us want peace, but then when we actually get it, we don't know how to handle it. In comes self sabotage. I think in today's society, we've been conditioned for chaos. It's constant scrolling through our feeds, online drama, notification after notification after notification after notification. We all have the same amount of social media apps. All this chaos that we bring upon ourselves daily, it keeps us from being able to find our peace because in all reality, I think what we're supposed to be doing is just working, taking care of ourselves, relaxing, socializing in person, and coming together at the right time, maybe in large groups for a party or something like that. But the constant connection to everybody puts pressure on us and it gives us anxiety. It's why so many of us feel like and the way that I look at it is that social media creates sort of like a spider web, and we're the bugs that just fly, and some of us get out of it, but a lot of us fly into it and we get stuck in that web, and then the queen, the mother of all social media spiders, comes down and eats our head off. No, but seriously, I mean, being part of like a social media web, it can really wrap up many hours of your life, so much time of your day that you have to find time to disconnect and find that peace, that inner peace that just allows you to do nothing or relax and do things around the house, menial tasks, things that take your mind off of the constant outside world, unless you look at things more introspectively and focus on yourself in that regard. Even a lot of our relationships today, they need tension to feel like they're real. You see it with your Facebook friends, you see it on social media. So many people love to go back and forth about politics or religion, race, all these different talking points that wrap up and consume people's minds. They then go about on social media and they argue with each other about it. And they're taking away from things that they could be doing with their day. And I understand that this is how some people get along, but a lot of the times these people that are on your Facebook, you wouldn't even necessarily consider them a close friend. But you have this relationship with them now because you bicker about things and you argue about politics and social media, the things that I already went over. And that's the main focus of your relationship. It's the only thing that's there. Maybe at the end of the day, some of these people that you're spending so much of your time on are not even worth having in your life. And that's what I mean about being addicted to the chaos. Because some people, I found myself guilty of it too before. You wake up and you see something on Facebook or whatever it might be, and you just feel like, oh, I have to comment on this. I have to be a part of this. And before you know it, you spend a couple hours of your day going back and forth with somebody about something that you really don't care that much about. And that's taking away from your peace. Because we all know as soon as you get into it with somebody online, what happens? You start to turn a little red, your body temperature rises, your heart beats faster because now you're pumping adrenaline into your body when you weren't conditioned to have that at this moment. I mean, you're just looking at a screen on your phone and you're feeling all of these emotions now. And the emotions should come from things that are around you, things that are actually happening, not random interactions online. I don't think that's the healthiest way to do it. Sometimes being a homebody is probably the way to be. Staying in, not having FOMO, that's a big problem. Fear of missing out. People are so scared to miss out on the next big thing, the next party, meeting the celebrity, going to this event, getting wrapped up in this new hobby that's going to consume so much time of their life, as opposed to just taking a moment to sit back and chill for a bit and just reflect on life and the things that you have going on and what's around you in that moment. Being at home provides so much peace. The home should be the place that you're building your life around. This should be your safe space. This should be where you want to spend most of your time because this is where you get things done. This is where you can express yourself creatively when no one else is around. Your home is your sanctuary. So being at home and being one of those boring people is not the worst thing ever. It's not that you're boring, it's that people are addicted to the dysfunction. They see it on social media all day. And subliminally, without even knowing it, you feel like you need to be a part of that. I have to go out and do this. I have to be a part of this. I have to be seen here, be seen there. And then before you know it, you're wrapped up in your own type of drama. Where's the peace in that? What it is, though, is that when life finally gets quiet, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. For example, when I was on the wedding and in Tulum on our honeymoon, everything was going great. It was so peaceful. It was perfect. The relationship was great. Mexico was amazing. The Dominican Republic was incredible. And everything was peaceful. But for some reason, there was a thought in the back of my mind about what I had coming up next. We were about to move when we got back to Vegas, what was going to be happening with my career, and really just what was going to be the next move for us. So even though we were in this perfect environment, there was times where I couldn't just enjoy it. And I had to keep thinking back on all these problems and these other stressful situations that I had. I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it today, is that you have to really take the time to be in these moments, because some of these places that you go are so special that you'll never get to experience like that, something like that ever again. And if you spend too much time worrying, you're going to give yourself anxiety, and then you're going to be stressed out. But you got to remember that it's okay when things get quiet. It's okay to be a little bit uncomfortable. It just means that you're finding your peace, that you're resetting. Take the time to do that. It's like your nervous system doesn't really know how to relax. And I think that's really because we spend so much time on social media, so much time scrolling, worried about other people's opinion, creating content, not living in our own moment, not taking care of the life that's right in front of us. We got to be resilient and taking time for ourselves and finding our inner peace, despite the struggles that we have daily, despite the constant scrolling, despite the online drama and all these other outside noises that are coming in and they're affecting you. Remember that you can just put the phone down for a bit. Go outside, get some sun, put your feet in the grass, be grounded, and think about who you are and what you want to do and what you need to do to accomplish those goals. Because I promise you, it's not going to be scrolling through social media. It's not going to be spending your time arguing with somebody on Facebook. It's going to come through your inner peace. Because once you're at peace, your mind can start to flow in other directions, because it's not constantly consumed by the garbage that you see online daily. You have a purpose that you are made to walk in. And the way you find that purpose is by finding yourself. And to find yourself, you have to take the time to do that. You have to be introspective. You have to think about the things that you want and the things that you need and the way that you feel about things, and not be influenced by other people's opinion. Because at the end of the day, other people's opinion doesn't matter. The way that you feel, your opinion, your morals, your goals, and where you're going next, that's what matters the most. So strive to achieve those things. Fuck the other shit. It don't matter. It's about you. I've spent so much of my adult life now recovering from the decisions that I made when I was younger. I mean, I'm only 31, but I got addicted to drugs at a very young age. I thought that I was at peace, though. I'm not going to lie to you. During that time, I thought I had everything figured out. I thought that I was on the path for success, that I had my relationships in check, and thought I was doing the things the right way. And that's what addiction will do to you. It'll cloud your mind. It'll cloud your judgment and make you think that you're on a path that you're not actually on. A path with no end, right? So for me, finding my peace is really what helped me turn everything around. There was a time where I really began to look at myself. And a big part of it was that I was for the world. And what I mean by that is that I was giving too much of myself to everything else. And I wasn't focused on me, on my temple, on Luke Curtis. So I began to better myself day after day after day. I turned the drug addiction into a self-improvement addiction. And I learned so much about myself, and I have improved in so many different ways, and I'm not a perfect person. I'm not claiming to be, and I didn't even find complete success in everything that I did and everything that I've done. I've still had hardships along the way. I've still fallen short, still proven to myself that I'm not worthy of who I think I should be at times, right? I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But finding the peace within myself is why I am where I am today. It's the only reason that I can come on here and talk to you. It's the reason that I have a story to begin with. If I didn't do this for myself, I don't know exactly where I would be. A lot of you have seen pictures of me before. I'd probably be on the street somewhere, doing drugs, or maybe I'd be dead. I don't know. But then I really begin to look at myself and find my peace and who I was. And that's what pushes me forward today. Like I said, it doesn't mean that nothing's happening. Peace is knowing that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, that you're in the right place, and everything around you will fall into place around that. But having your peace, having quietness, is knowing that you're where you need to be. I think when I realized that I didn't need the constant stimulation and validation is where I really started to find my peace. Especially with the career that I have, being a professional wrestler, it's all about the who's and the hoorays and how many people love you. But then I begin to realize that that's not the most important thing at the end of the day. I'm the most important thing in my health, right? So I take care of that first, and then the other stuff follows behind it. When we're talking about life being quiet, one of the important things to remember is that generally the people that you follow, the people that are the loudest, they don't have the peace. That's what they're searching for. The chaos that you see online is people desperately trying to find their inner peace. They might have a lot of money, they might have a lot of success, they might have a lot of women, whatever you think is cool. But they're filling gaps with that. They're filling the voids in their life because they're searching for something. Because that's not what you need. Like I said, you don't need the constant validation and the constant stimulation when you found who you are. So find that. I noticed that I was spending way too much of my time chasing attention. Now I just want to protect my peace. I think I've grown past all the drama, the clout. Searching for clout is such a crazy experience. And then overthinking things. When you have a career that I have, or I guess any type of career, you constantly think about your position and where you're going to be and how people feel about you. And now I'm trying to protect those things. I think going to Tulum and spending time in Azulik on the water and, being in other countries has just allowed me to value simplicity a little more because these people are so happy with, it's not so little. I hate saying so little because in reality, they don't have less than us. Sometimes they have more than us because they have such tight family and community. But without all of the technology and the things that we have, these people find their happiness and they are at peace with where they're at in their situation. And so many people I've noticed in America, people around my age or younger or older, might have what they want in life, but they still are not at peace. They're still unhappy, still miserable. People still committing suicide so regularly, especially in America. Suicide rates have always been ridiculously high in America. And it's because we're putting a standard on people to be something that most people aren't. You sell one type of life to somebody and then everybody wants that. And they spend their time trying to get that. And then they overthink it. And then they want the clout. And then they harm themselves. So you got to make sure that you're protecting others around you and yourself. Remember that these things that you're seeing, it's not real. Social media isn't real. People's opinion of you really isn't real. When they say you're good, it doesn't mean anything. And when they say you're bad, it doesn't mean anything. What's real is the relationships that are around you, your family, your friends, the people that care about you. Count on your hand how many people you could call if you were in an accident today. Who's going to come? Who's going to be there for you? Who's going to support you? These are the people that matter. Don't forget that. With most of the things that I do now, my relationships, I look for peace in those. At work, I look for peace. I'm trying to protect these things. I don't want to come off in a way that creates drama for people and then we have problems. I don't want problems with anybody. You shouldn't want that. I want us all to have a community. I want us to be one. I want us to move as one. If people need help, I want to be able to help. I want to help people find their peace, and I want to bring good energy to the room. And I think you should do that too. Remember that you want to be the type of person that when you walk into work, you want the energy to go up. I want people to be like, oh, Luke is here. Things just got better because Luke's here. Because no matter what, we're going to be taken care of because he got that. And that's how I'm trying to move from now on. Everyone's negative opinion is forcing us to live so much of our lives in survival mode. We constantly don't want people to be judging us or to have negative thoughts about us. You know, say something about the way we look, the way that we're dressed, the way that we behave. Just remember that you don't always have to be in survival mode. This is why it's so important that you do take the time to reset when you're at home. This is why it's important that your home is your temple, that you build a life at your house that you can find your peace after the long days, after the hardships of work, that you can come home and you can now take a moment to get off of social media, to disconnect and to find the peace with yourself. Remember that when it's quiet, it's not a red flag. It's just a reset. That's all it is. And when it's awkward, it's because you're at peace now and you're no longer in survival mode. That feeling, the non-chaotic feeling that I need to look at something right now, just take a deep breath. And remember that you don't got to be in survival mode and that you're not in that anymore. Chill out. Take a breath. Watch The View. Eat a cookie. I don't know. Live your life and be happy. Maybe you just got out of a abusive relationship or a toxic work environment, overcame a gambling addiction, a drug addiction. Just remember that as you find your peace and things do begin to get quiet, that it's not the end of your story. It's just the beginning of something new. You got to stop and you got to listen to the silence long enough to hear yourself again. Let those thoughts process. Let your brain bring new life to you. There's so much inside of you, so much potential, so many great thoughts and ideas that you haven't even begin to bring to the world yet and to your life, because you're constantly surrounded by chaos and you're not giving yourself enough time to sit back, relax, breathe, grow, evolve, self-improve, and become the better you. So put your phone down for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, take a deep breath, stare at the sky, think about who you are, where you're going, and what you got to do next. And real quick, before I hop off here, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for listening again. We did it. This is the second time now. Maybe we'll go for 3. I'm feeling good about it. I hope you guys are too. If I in any way could have helped you, you're welcome. And if you have any advice for me or any way that you want to help me or anybody else, feel free to drop it in the comments. You know, if you're a fan of me, I'm a fan of you. And at the end of the day, we're all a community. So let's do our best to help each other so we can strive forward and become better people. And I look forward to doing that with all of you guys. So thank you.